Shalom. We've concluded the book of Bereshit, Genesis. Joseph, that great economist, that righteous man, the deliverer of Egypt, has died, and his brothers, all of that generation, have gone on. And as the book of Exodus opens, we find an entirely new scenario. Joseph, who literally saved the world, not only his own people, but the civilized world and the nation of Egypt, saved them from starvation, has been forgotten. And his descendants and all of his family have now become enslaved to Pharaoh in Egypt. They've become the problem. They've been identified as the enemy, and they are now being systematically persecuted. But that's another story. In the first portion of the book of Exodus, we are introduced to Moshe, to Moses, who will be the deliverer of the Jewish people from Egypt, who will be the one who receives the tablets of the law from God at the Sinai revelation, and indeed, who is the person, really the only person, called by the Bible the man of God. Moses, who achieved a singular relationship with the Creator, who spoke to him face to face, who rose to a spiritual stature and height that was unparalleled. What do we know about Moses, and how did he achieve this great level? Well, when Moses first confronted the great sight of the burning bush, from which God chose to address him for reasons of his own, we are told in chapter 3 of the book of Exodus, Moses saw this incredible sight, the bush that was on fire but that was not consumed, and he says, "I will turn and I will see this great sight. Why is the bush not consumed?" He says, "I will turn." And interestingly, in our tradition, there is a question amongst the sages as to what does this mean exactly when Moses said, "I'm going to turn and see this." There are those who say that Moses meant, "I'm going to walk a few paces in that direction and get a better look." And there are those who maintain that the intention of Moses here was merely to say, "I'm going to turn my head in this direction." We have several great schools of thought that are deliberating, according to tradition, the inner meaning, the secret meaning of these words. What does it mean? "I will turn to see this great sight." Does it mean I will walk over there? Or does it mean I will simply turn and get a better look? The point here is actually quite amazing, because whether Moses actually walked 6 feet in the direction of the bush, or whether all he did was turn his head a little bit to get a better look, it's really the same thing. The point is, he took a very small step, but it was of his own initiative. He made some move. God was trying to get his attention, just as he tries to get all of our attention all the time through everyday things of life. And the question is, are we awake? Are we responsive? Do we want to know the truth, that he is literally beckoning to us through the burning bushes of our lives, the stuff of our lives? And the point here, what our great sages are actually deliberating, is not whether or not he walked in that direction or whether he craned his neck. The point is, the emphasis what we're trying to understand here is that God indeed looks for us. It's not only a question of our looking for him, and he gives us signals all the time, but we have to be there and show that we are going to be ready to hear, ready to see. He's always beckoning to us, but do we have the wherewithal, the gumption, the nerve to take him up on the offer and to take that little step, whether it's just a few feet or perhaps even just a turn in the direction, to show some interest, some sign of life, that just as he is always there for us, can we also be there for him?